Von's songs represented his life, from admitting to having an affair with his baby mother to singing about killing a female assassin and demeaning an NBA star. These strange circumstances were often real. A murder attempt was made by the FBG Wiki. FBGYKA is one of his favorite operations, according to Wiki, as V would also fall, and the two would taunt each other with death in a single tweet. V said, "We'll be killed before him, not before you thought." Wozai would unfortunately be shot first, and V was quick to disparage him in his music in the track Back Again. Von tweeted, "Shoot up everyone outside, Von WS." Von talked about the shooting at a funeral for Whiskey's friend Y, a rapper who was shot in the head in 2018, and many people claim that Y has never been the same since. I'm sure Wookie is still twitching, given that he made a tweak and produced a grandson for President Von WS. Dopey's funeral was a flurry of activity on the afternoon of October 17, after Chris alias Doozy Thon was shot and killed by an OP. Von boasted in a text that he would surprise we tonight, and the All Block members took advantage of the fact that Doo's funeral would be packed with activities due to our reputation in the neighborhood.
We learned a little bit more about the victims this afternoon. There were a total of 6 people who were shot outside the church. It was a pandemonium, a scene of pandemonium right after that happened. Many of those people who were shot were leaving a funeral inside the...
In their 2012 Twitter exchange about his murder, Wookie promised V that he would outlive him, and he is still alive today. Graver alias Tuka has become a national celebrity due to Chicago's ongoing gang war, and several rappers have made fun of him in their tracks, and King Von was certainly not exempt. During the funeral, a number of gang members, including Wookie, who were grieving for their fallen comrade, drew their weapons and retaliated when a car pulled up. Wookie was shot in the head and fell to the ground, but fortunately no one else was killed. The events leading up to Tupa's horrific shooting began at 6:45 p.m. on January 12, 2011, an apparently normal evening in Chicago's Woodlawn neighborhood. Channel Gregory, then 15 years old, had no idea that he would once again be standing at a bus stop on the 500 block of East 63rd Street. Tuka and his 2 friends were not alone as a man approached them as they waited for the westbound bus on 63rd Street that night. Von WS saw that boy walking past the bus, which is the last stop. Tuka was one of the first children killed in a 2011 Chicago gang war. The man behind the bus shelter produced a silver pistol, pointed it at Tuka, and fired a single shot in a matter of seconds. The man was unrelenting. He followed Tuka and, with terrible accuracy, shot him 3 more times in the back as he staggered toward a nearby garbage can in a desperate attempt to flee. Tuka lay motionless, knowing that his life would end in a few seconds. His question about whether another bus was coming seemed innocent at first, but it was the start of something much bigger. The Lil Mark murder case. V had to fire Lil Mark in January 2019 after he suffered the same fate, and when Nemo 600 and King Von collaborated on their song, I discovered that they made fun of some of their businesses, including Lil Mark on the Von rap song. Lil Mark released a trash song called No Competition before his death on March 25, 2014. The paramedics quickly assessed the situation and determined it was too late, and Tuka was declared dead at the scene. Scrap and the smell of Chua and Lil Mark are getting to me. My plan is to create a new bundle. It was a daring attempt that targeted the street group OTF and well-known rappers Lil Durk and Lil Reese. Tragic events occurred 3 days later on March 28, 2014, when Lil Mark was waiting at a bus stop. For Lil Mark, the fateful day started like any other day in Chicago, but it would end tragically at approximately 1:27 p.m. Jania and V were accused of sleeping together instead of making music when they first met when she first appeared online. Jania cleared her reputation on Instagram, saying that they had simply made music because she needed the money for her child. In a feud with NBA YoungBoy before his untimely death, King Val went to the studio to confess to having slept with his girlfriend in the song. None of these Von Rs know they are dookies. V used social media to spread the vicious story about the young child, posting pictures of himself with the young boy's baby mama after tweeting, "Won't believe the female I just made a hit with."
Like I said, I don't with no nigga. I've been working. We have a song coming out. Y'all wasn't supposed to know, but fuck, it is what it is now. We have a song coming out. So when the song come out, y'all gon' with it.
Asian, seemingly angry, took to her Instagram to confirm the rumors.
There have been rumors in the industry that Asians cheated on V with Little Boy, and one of the most convincing pieces of evidence is that Little Boy, who broke the internet on January 14, 2022, used Asian's Instagram account to send a message to his producer 2 days before Von's tragic murder. Little Boy took the rumor personally, posting on Instagram, "I'm going to make sure my son and your daughter since you are trolling a bit." A distressed Asian confirmed the claims on Instagram, saying that she had seen the direct messages between the two and that the music explanation was false, but the damage was already done. We were informed that O Block Pack is being held up for murder, but the good news is that this diss song did not start a new gang war. Get wrapped up, you Atlanta boy. Troy's long-term murder. Although they are both dead now, V and his best friend Troy lived by the pistol and murdered numerous operations because they knew their time was coming. King Von's song, "All These Niggas Von RS, Look How You Feel For Real," included shout-outs to T. Roy, who was shot and killed first. As a further point of reference, he had one particular opportunity in mind, and that was none other than TB from Towan World. A month prior, TB had released a diss track in which he ridiculed all of his operations, including Block T. Roy. He went out, as usual, to look for TB in the 2000 block of East 71st Street, a known TB hotspot in the South Shore neighborhood, hoping to use the element of surprise to kill him as Troy and his friends were walking down the streets, and the footage showed that his operations TB and Can't Get Right were right behind them. In search of Troy TR, when Roy and his associate entered a store on 7th Street, he was on one of the aisles talking to his associate. CCTV footage showed TB and Can't Get Right entering the store and moving toward their rivals a few seconds later. TB's right hand was slightly behind him, concealing a firearm. It was unusual that Roy was caught without it. He must have thought it would be a verbal altercation that ended in fists because TB could have shot him as soon as he entered, as most hits do, or he could have waited for him to go outside, but he approached him as though he wanted to. Troy fell to the ground when TB suddenly lifted his pipe and began firing rounds. Troy died from his gunshot wound shortly after being taken to Northwestern Memorial Hospital. Prominent rappers close to Troy, including Lil Durk, Lil Reese, 600 Breezy, and Chief Keef, posted their shock and grief on Twitter. Troy's death was swiftly avenged when TB was shot dead by Troy's brother. Who and other Toll members later killed King, also known as HK. FBG Wooski hides from V and Wookie frequently quarrel on X one day. Wookie tweeted, "King Von, you were afraid to enter the store because you looked me in the eye," to which V replied. They were discussing a time when V ran into Wookie at a store on 63rd Street, and rumor has it that Wookie saw V and fled into the store to hide from his eyes. V was unable to fight him because Wookie hid behind his guys in the store, and in one of his songs, V claims he didn't shoot up the store because he didn't have his ski mask in the track on your ass. On Metabee, you locked the door when I tried to return, so you got up and went behind your guys. Even though Von and we had already met in the street and thrown hands, this was the last time the cops were given a pass, and Von WPS was at the store, but I wasn't wearing my mask.
I interviewed somebody, man, and they was telling me about a time when you and Von got in a fight in front of O Block.
Von Wee was fighting V when Y and his companion were out. A fourth person attempted to help V, but the cops were already there and intervened immediately.
Walked in King's Drive and they was standing right there, and the police and shit pulled up, and they thought they was just gonna stand right there. We got the whooping their ass. Me and him got the fighting, then some other mob came and jumped in, and the police came and broke the fight up. We all got up at it.
King Von, however, gave a different version of events, claiming that Wose had been beaten. NTRVIEW 920/925.
Hey, Woods can't tell y'all I beat his ass one day. He ain't tell y'all that he too dumb to even remember. I punched his ass.
The horrifying CCTV footage captured a dark car stop at the scene of FBG Duck's murder on August 4, 2020, in the Gold Coast neighborhood of Chicago, close to Michigan Avenue and East Oak Street. A month later, the song's rapper King Von released GTA, a diss single about FBG Duck. Von is now a ghost. The detectives put in countless hours to piece together the CCTV footage as the weeks turned into months. Armed men jumped out in front of a store and started shooting as Duck made a fruitless attempt to escape. Duck was killed when they jumped back into the black car and drove off in a gray Chrysler that was also involved in the crime. Additional footage showed a police car chasing the gray Chrysler as it pulled up to O Block. Researchers made a significant discovery when they discovered a digital breadcrumb trail linking the crime to the O Block gang's boastful social media posts about the assault. The trial and video evidence that brought suspects to the site demonstrated that FBG Duck was slain for defaming T. Roy.
Like that. Okay. All I know, don't say that about Troy or rest in peace, Duck. Don't say about Troy.
V would send Duck a direct message that said, "I'm really helping you out, but Roy isn't shot in the head, and there are a lot of dead people there. You might sense me since you're not hitting on anything right now, and Mother is bringing you up." Duck raps T in the song The Remix of Me. In the July 2020 song Duck Raps made Chicago legends, BB Duck continued to say, "I wasn't going to diss the dead," mocking O Block while T. Roy and OB were assassinated. "You welcome Koofy Duck." The representative would later refer to him as a fan, "and you had to bring me up in order for you to perform numbers like all your other foolish males. Then just say you're a fan." FBG Duck's murder and death a few weeks later in July 2020 at the intersection of Michigan Avenue and East Oak Street in the Chicago Gold Coast neighborhood must have been the final straw. According to surfacing information, King Von may have paid $100,000 to have Duck killed. He killed FBG Brick's attacker before his brother shot and killed FBG Duck. On July 17, 2017, while FBG Brick, his cousin, and Kobe Mack were in the Woodlawn neighborhood, a car stopped and attempted to find FBG Duck. When they were unsuccessful, the car drove away. Von pushed Von Dovies to jump on a record. "It's a switch. They say I hit it even though I can shoot a brick." They caught that brick, after all, and struck him in the face.
They were standing out there and this block was full of people. And the story that I'm hearing was a car pulled up and asked for Duck. Like, "Yo, Duck out here?" And everybody looking like, "Who is you?" They didn't recognize who was in the car.
At around 2:50 p.m., officers arrived on the 6,300 block of South Street Lawrence to find a horrifying scene. Kobe Mack was lying in front of the house with a wound to his head, and FBG Brick was found in the rear gangway with gunshot wounds to his arm and back.
He shot Kobe, and Brick tried to run and jump a gate and was shot in the back.
Reputable female assassin Kapara Barnes, also known as Key, was killed when she was 17 years old, and V was the main suspect years later. Both men were pronounced dead at the scene of Key's assassination. Key's mother recalled her daughter as a sweet and innocent young woman, but by the time she died, young Key had turned into a cunning assassin on the streets of Chicago, and Von Dist had provided us a great op in a morgue call when he was in the track war with us.
I'm just gonna miss her presence. She was a very, very beautiful, well-known, lovely girl.
Key was credited with killing O.D. Perry, one of O Block's most admired, feared, and esteemed shooters, who reportedly took Odd's gun and posted images of himself using it on social media. Key reportedly killed someone when she was just 14 years old and may have been involved in as many as 20 killings before she died. Eventually, Garrell was the only person connected to the rumor. Warrens attacked O.D. Perry on social media, but on April 11, while out for a walk with a friend, her brother, and FBG Buddha, she was shot by a hooded shooter in front of a house in the 6,400 block of Southeast sharing the same fate as her victims. She was hit 9 times in the mouth, neck, and chest before collapsing on a neighbor's doorstep and later died from her wounds at Northwestern Memorial Hospital. Shot wounds but lived, V was arrested after witnesses recognized him as the gunman, but the charges against him were withdrawn since the police could not establish his guilt in court. Years later, when King Von was slain in a horrific shooting in Atlanta, V was accused of killing Key, although Key's brother, FBG Buddha, who was at the scene, denied this.
What I know is, my dad, Von didn't kill God.
He asserts that the murderer is already dead and that he saw the shooter.
I got shot too. I was right there. I got shot too. I saw the motherfucker who popped us. He did.
King Von was quick to let him and anyone else who might come into contact with him know how he felt about the track suspects because he detested snitches and anyone who had anything to do with him. Von Dovies is 69 snitches and has a rat. Since it is now generally acknowledged that V didn't 69 snitches, give them credit for the hit. In fact, 69 and 4 other companions were arrested on November 18, 2018, and charged with federal RICO and firearm violations, including conspiracy to commit murder and armed robbery, potentially leading to life in prison. He acknowledged that he was a member of the Vicious Bloods chapter known as the 9 Trade Gangsters.
You were a member of any gang?
Yes, sir.
What was the name of the gang that you were a member of?
The 9 Trade Bloods.
In court, he also admitted that the gang was implicated in a number of offenses, such as drug use and assault, based on the rapper's audio recording.
What things did 9 Trade members do?
We participated in a lot of, violent crimes, robberies, assaults, drugs, such of that nature.
The rapper was ostracized by everyone after serving a short jail sentence, and artists and podcasters refused to give him credit or acknowledge him. Well-known hip-hop expert DJ Academics claims that 69 label 10K Projects approached him to give an interview, but nobody was willing to take the chance.
Call me back 5-6 days later. We tried to get him an interview with everybody for him to explain his side. Nobody wants to do it. I said, what? Nobody wants to touch it with 10 feet.
The hip-hop industry, however, went crazy when Nicki Minaj decided to collaborate with The Outsider on the song Troll. It's easy to conclude that King Von lost respect for Nicki when he insulted the female rapper in an attempt to express his opinions. I used to think Nicki Minaj was amazing, but after reading one tweet, I realized that some people will do whatever it takes to break every rule, trade, and moral code. In another post, he added that V lived what he rapped about, making him a monster for some, but a fan favorite for others. Go for it, friend. If you want a taste of the fast life with desperate, easily influenced people, it won't even be worth the pain and grief you've gone through.